Okay, so we can see that now we're starting Tuesday. Sorry, you can't see it out there, but I've written it out there. Of week 8 DGP. I've got my sentence written down. If you haven't already tried this, stop the video, try it on your own, and then check your answers instead of just copying me. So, the first thing I'm looking for when I look at my help pages is the simple subject. Who or what does the verb? I know where my verbs are because I labeled them. Throw. So, who or what throws a rock into the water? You. That's my subject. My other verb was will speed. So, who or what will speed on the fastest course? The rock will speed on the no. It. So, see, even I make mistakes sometimes. It is the subject. Because it will speed. The rock is what gets thrown into the water. So I have my simple subject done. I look now at my simple predicate, which I already have them labeled. I just have to decide if they're transitive or intransitive. This you can do to something, this you can't. So I know it's verb, throw. Throw what? A rock. It's being done to something. That's a verb transitive. Will speed what? It's not being done to something. So will speed is a verb intransitive. And the helping verb we ignore for this one, because it's just helping the other verb. That takes care of my verbs. Now I need my prepositional phrases. Starts at the P. So we already labeled the P's. We know that they're going to be the first word of every one. And we know that we have to label our OP's, and they're just the ones that the preposition is being done to. So I know into was a preposition. Into what? The water was what it was being done to. So that's an OP. I'm going to label them all, and then I'll come back and do the rest. On was where another one started. On what? The fastest course. Course was the OP that goes with it. To was a preposition. To what? The bottom was my OP. Of was a preposition. Of what? The water was my OP. And that's how you start with that. Now I have to figure out whether they're adjective or adverb prep phrases. Yeah. If it acts as an adjective, then it's what kind, which one, or how many. An adverb answers the adverb questions. So, does into the water describe what kind of rock or anything? No, it describes where you throw it, right? So since it's answering an adverb question, it's an adverb prep phrase. A lot of people miss this on the quiz, so make sure you're getting that. On the fastest course tells me where it will speed. So that's an adverb prep phrase because it answered the question where. To the bottom is where it will speed to, so that's another adverb prep phrase. Actually, yeah, I'm right. I got confused there for a minute, but I checked my answers. Of the water. Now, of the water doesn't describe how it will speed. It's describing which bottom it is, right? It's not the bottom of the barrel. It's the bottom of the water. So this is an adjective prep phrase because it told us which bottom we're talking about. So that's an adjective prep phrase. Okay, so then we've got our prepositional phrases and our object of the prepositions done. So our next page we're looking for complements. We had 2 action verbs, so I know I'm going to have direct and indirect objects if I have anything. I know that I take the verb and I ask, you throw what? A rock. That's my direct object. To find an indirect object, I ask to whom? You throw a rock to whom? There's no answer. It would always be right here. So I don't have an indirect object, and that's fine. It will speed what? There's no answer. So I don't have a direct object, and since I don't have a direct object, I cannot have an indirect object. The positives, where you rename it, I don't have any of those. Now nobody's being spoken to in this sentence, so I'm down to my complete subject. So I underline my subject and everything that goes with it. Nothing describes you. I understand my other subject and everything that goes with it. And nothing describes it. So the rest of the 2 sentences are the 2 complete predicates because they all describe the verb. Now, that's the starting point, but now I need to think about it and go, well, what about when? That I have a hard time knowing. Subordinate conjunctions are part of the sentence. You can't just get rid of them. They don't disappear like coordinate conjunctions do. So it has to be something, and if I start thinking about it, well, when is an adverb question? And when tells me what happens, basically when it will speed. So what I'm going to do is fix this. When describes the predicate in the second sentence, which means this entire first half is really just describing what happens when the rock will speed on the fastest course to the bottom of the water, right? When it will speed. So even though this is a sentence, it's really describing the verb in the other sentence. That's why it's dependent. It doesn't make sense by itself. So there, my underlining is done, and I'm ready for Wednesday.